Yes, yes, this is true. We started in garage, like in Agile world. It is very often that we developers start in garage, and then you see Agile 5 and value flowing. And I will talk about this today. I'm working with healthcare company worldwide, Bupa. I think you know Luxmed, who is the part of the Bupa Group here in Poland. And you can see these blue parts. This is where we are present. And as Angel said, when you have any information, it is wise to understand the context. So maybe the story I'm here to tell you is about the small things, but with comparison of the organization we are working with, it could be not so small. It's a good start. That's it. So at the moment, this is about 80,000 of the employees across the globe. And subset of this group is 2,000 of employees, which is providing services called Bupa Global. So that means that we are connecting things across the globe. And talking about context again, this is about 20 Agile coaches, professionals across the globe, and a subset of 3 coaches, yours truly, and to my colleagues, which are working for Bupa Global. So I mean, we are connecting things. We are connecting communities. So it doesn't mean that my colleague Garfield from Hong Kong is not talking to my colleague Carolina here in Poland. Of course they are talking. Or to my colleague Azza Hussein from Egypt. Of course they are talking. But they are responsible for the different areas, for different market units. And part of us are responsible for connecting them. For connecting not only them, but for connecting everything like AI, data science, digital, whatever is needed for us to thrive. So this is the job we are talking about. And we are lucky because we had a clear message from our leader. And Jaki Nero said, I want you to deliver things more quickly. This is why I need this agile thing. And I want you to work together to deliver value sooner, to deliver something sooner. And you are agile professionals, you need to choose how you will do that. So I'm not talking you to do Scrum or Kanban or Safe or Less or whatever it is. You need to choose, the stuff. This is your area of expertise. And you can say 2 things in such situation. First is, oh, yes, and say, oh my God, we need to choose wisely. This is not the situation that the film, the consultancy will bring you the slides and you will follow it and then say it is not working. No. Here, you need to choose wisely. So that was the beginning of the conversation. What will be our approach to get rid of the waste, to deliver things sooner? Simple as that. So we decided that we need to flow things. Starting from the ideation, the value need to flow through the system to the person that needs that. And when you are thinking about flow, not necessarily in your daily job, not necessarily in business at the moment, could you please give me an example what flow is? An example of anything that flows. Time flows, very good. Sorry? Water. And maybe the third thing? Yeah. So in those 3 examples, you can see that if there is an impediment, the flow is, disturbed, or maybe it's stopped. In water, it needs to be a big impediment, but finally you can do that. And we do not want those impediments. We want that the value will be flowing through our system. And it is not easy to find those impediments, and it is not easy to find the process, and this is not easy to change the culture, because we need those 3. So we look into the basis, the fundamentals. And one of these fundamental things is the flow approach, which is covered in the absolutely exceptional book. I recommend that, which is called Flow by Mihaily Csikkszentmihalyi. And I think the problem with this book is the surname of the person. Because Mihaily Csikkszentmihalyi, he's American, but his roots are Hungarian. So this is Hungarian surname. And almost nobody can say it at the very beginning. I was lucky to have a Hungarian friend, and he taught me what is the simple technique to say this name almost properly. And my private mission is to teach as many people as possible to say his name as well, because he's not longer among us, unfortunately, since the last year, but his thinking is among us, among Agile community in almost every framework, in almost every method. So could you please try it with me? We just need to say 3 words, easy English words. First is cheeks. Can you say it with me? Cheeks. Great. The second word is me. Very good. And the third word is hi. Lovely. And now the hard part. We need to make those words flow without any pause. So, Csikkszentmihalyi. Wow. So we have, many more people right now that can say this name, and also maybe you will look into this book. If you want, this is the essence. This is F words, not necessarily those words that we are using very often, but different words, very important in agility as well. One of it is feedback. And after Angel's keynote, I think there is no need to cover why we need that, why it is so important in agility. But of course, here in Bupa, we need to focus on that. Karolina needs to run many workshops about feedback in Poland. My colleagues need to run workshops, lectures, mentoring session, initiatives like 360, 180, to make people brave enough to treat feedback as an information, to treat feedback as a gift, to not judge people with feedback-like things. So this is one of the 4 cultural changes in Bupa. The second is focus. How many of you have at the moment the comfort to focus on just one thing in your daily job? Anyone? On 1, 2, 3, 10? Yeah, focus on 10. We will go to that later on. So focus is very important to the flow. We need to focus on something to create great things, to use our creativity. If we are not focused enough, the flow is disturbed, like water when there is something on its way. Freedom. This one is also connected with Anha's keynote, so I'm so happy that he covered that because he's better in it. It's this Kaizen state, but with expectation and with responsibility. So you can do whatever you want because you are professional, you know your stuff, you can ask your colleagues, you can ask me, you can look into experience, you can talk to the community, and we want you to deliver that. The outcome is clear. The time you have, the resources you have are clear. Talk to me, talk to us. If you don't know how to do it, ask for help, but do your job. You're a professional. And this is the space when your creativity thrives. So when I'm talking about the freedom, about the Zen state, it could be this, golden tickets in Google or whatever practice you have, but you need to have a space when you will be focused and you will deliver things with the freedom of choosing the best way to deliver that. You can see it in Scrum. This is for team to decide how they deliver sprint backlog, isn't it? And it's good that you will have it in practice in a team, that this is their decision. Of course, they are aware of dependencies. Of course, they were aware of the things that decide on. So we have this kind of database, we have Oracle, so we can just buy the another one. So we are aware of that. But the other things is up to me because I am professional. Freedom. And the last but not least is 4%. How many of you have ever heard about the liberating structures? Yes. And have you seen the 15% structure in practice, maybe? Someone? Yes. So this is something like that. When we have a thing we want to do, and this is too big and too complicated and not feasible at the moment. So let's do the 4% of it. or as liberating structures at 50%, just a part of it. MVP, something like that. So I can give you an example when we had this idea, oh my God, data is a great thing now. We need data, we need to share data, we need to learn data, and so on. So let's do a data competition worldwide. Yes, let's connect all the data professionals. Let's teach them, let's learn. Awesome. How we can do that? Oh my God. So many things. How to share data. It's confidential. Maybe let's do it, maybe not real data. How to create it, how about environments? Are we going to Python or Anaconda, or maybe we will use R, or maybe simple Excel things. So this is too big. All right, let's do it locally. Let's start with market unit. Let's do it in England. Right, let's start with England. And for everybody, whoever you are you a manager for our Bupa villages, facilities, or you're a mathematician, or you're an analyst, you can go into the competition. Oh my God, it's not feasible as well, because we do not have hands-ons. So let's run a competition, a small one for a start, and let's see how many people are interested. And let's use the environments they have at the moment. And let's run the kata sessions for the rest that they do not have. And let's see, are they interested enough to invest in the following environments for them in the next iteration. So this is the real example of the 4% approach, which is nothing more than delivering things incrementally. So we understand what is far away, we understand our biases, why it's not feasible at the moment. And we want to deliver the first valuable step, learn from it, and deliver. And you see, Mihaily Csikkszentmihalyi, so many years ago, said that these are the conditions we need to have in our culture to deliver things, flowing things through our system. So it's good to remember that. And it's good to talk about it with your managers, with your teams, because it is important. The next book of 3 is called Flow, surprise, surprise, and it is by Don Reinertsen. And I can set 2 different things about the same book. The first is that the content of this book is exceptional. It's so great. You have over 100 principles how to implement flow into your business. And the form of this book, the narrative, this is the another story. I know one person for over 20 years of my practice, and I am a mathematician, and I'm working in IT for over 20 years, who read this book, and it's not me, from start to the end. And this is very valuable, so that's a shame. But fortunately, this is the 3rd book and the 3rd person, David Anderson. Have you ever heard about him? Yes. And he is so smart that he took the essence of this book and he wrote another book. And it was too much for many people, this big book. So he wrote an extract of it, about 20 or 30 pages about Kanban method. Still too much. So he made this picture. So if this Don Reinertsen book is, to dance, it is for me. It's got to be for, not academic person, not economist, not mathematician. You can read Kanban book by Anderson, or you can look into Kanban Essential, or you can look at this picture. It's a great start. And you have flow over there. So we can start with this. And we decided to start with those three principles of Kanban. And we understand why. Because we want to make this flow, because Iñaki wants us to deliver things sooner. So this is our job. So let's do it. Easy. We found our way. We know how to proceed. So if we want to flow things, we need to start with what we are doing now. We need to visualize it. And we want to measure it somehow. So this is one of the real backlogs. Another problem when you are running the worldwide organization is that you have a different platform. So yes, we are doing Jira on premise and on the cloud. It depends when. And we are doing Azure DevOps as well. And we are doing few more things I'm rather not talking about regarding visualization of our processes. So this is one of the tables, and you can see our WIP limit set wisely to 5, and you can see 27 tickets in this lane, which exceeds our WIP limit. So yes, we know that we need to be limited and focus work, but we don't know why, but we are exceeding it. So we understood that we have too many things in a system in one moment, and it's not good. And probably we have two reasons why is that. So it could be that we are pulling too many things into the system and then it's stuck. Or maybe we have external reason that is blocking us for taking the things for the system further on. So we start to visualize the real process, not the one that we have in Jira or Azure DevOps. And this is something one of the managers just draw with a team on piece of paper. I asked if just let it show me. So this is how it is. And then we realize that this is about having too many things in it. Not only things from this team, but from the team, the other team that needs our team to do something, that's something that CEO wants, that's something that we just remember, and so on and so on. So we are back to the discussion about the priorities, because we want to deliver things sooner, right? At least the first thing sooner, the most important thing, because the priority is about the most important thing. So we need to have a conversation not only in my team, not only with the whole market unit, but across the business, what is the most important things? And to understand that, what is the most important things, is the place when we need to talk about the category of things. Because if we agree that the most important thing is this that was planned a week ago, and it is like in, Anna's lecture yesterday about the priority, something happened, it's like ambulance going in the highway and saying, this is life in danger, of course we will focus on that. But this is different type of the thing. That's why we said, okay, so let's agree on classes of services. This is a Kanban, this is pure Kanban, and it's easy thing. You need to decide how many things you can have in your board. This is from, Kanban material, training material, nothing that we invented. So we have bugs. We have fixed delivery things. So we need them in March, for example. Or right now I can say in May, because if March, it's expedite or very important thing. So we will need this in March, so it's not so important right now. Maybe standard thing is more important. It can wait. Maybe it is better that it will wait until we will learn a little more about this one. And this is intangible. This is something about performance in our database, something which is, important, but not necessarily right now. But we can't forget those technical things. So we decided, okay, let's say we have about 30% of this in our backlog at the moment, and 60% of standard things, and not more than 10% of fixed date, because otherwise we are doing waterfall, not agile. But of course, we have things that have dates. This is life. And if there is emergency, if you want to have this these things visible and working, it needs to be one. If you have 3 or 10 expedite things, it's not working. So that was the good thing, and that was easily implemented. And this is among our group of change agents, because we run this, experiments, poking systems with the volunteers from across the globe. That is, okay, we need this agile, we need to learn how to do it. Let's do it in real teams, with real backlogs, delivering real things. And they said, yes, that's good, let's do that. Yay, checked, we will do this. So coming back to our design, even if we have classes of services, it's not enough. Again, things are stuck, and we don't know why. What is the reason? Who we need to talk to about this? So we were looking for bottlenecks. So we ran an exercise when we ask people to visualize the simple process of activities, but dividing it into active and passive state. We are doing something, we are waiting, and we are doing something, and we are waiting for something, and so on. Because we wanted to measure the effectiveness of our flow. And we wanted to do it the simplest way possible. And one of the simplest way possible, it's a great Kanban. So you can count, you can measure the time spent on actively doing things, and you can measure the time spent on waiting on things. And in this example, you can see that we are doing things statistically, in average, in this process. This is a real one. For 3 days, and we are waiting the rest time of the 7 weeks. And this is the wow one. Oh my God. And double check. Oh my God. And this is the good fuel for a conversation across business. Why we are waiting for, what is the thing that are blocking us, how to get rid of it. For this conversation with the business, how to, for example, make the square state shorter, maybe, baby steps. Just 2 weeks of waiting, please, not 4 weeks, if possible. Taking into consideration that we have 3 weeks sprint, it's not a big thing to ask, maybe. We need a wider discussion when we move into this communication with business people, why we need that. Because it's not only about, okay, we have this 6 over weeks in average that we are waiting for something. And this waiting thing is the most important, problem of our processes. It is also about what is the scope, what is the value that we need to flow. Hi, Tomek. Yes, this is your thing. And to cover that, we need to make a step back into the discussion when we need to agree on the scope of our value stream, because we have value stream named, but we didn't socialize the scope of those value streams. We didn't socialize the process that is going through those value streams. Sometimes we even didn't know exactly who is paying for it and who is working on it. So that was the exercise. We decided that we will start with value scope Canva. That was the first step. We did it in reality, starting with example, and then we fill it out and socialize within team and across the IT business through the discussion. Then we will again visualize the process and calculate touch time and waiting time to find out how long are we waiting and for what. And that was a good step. That was a great discussion. And based on that, based on these examples, in few places, with few teams and few managers, volunteers that were eager to learn, spending time on preparing this, we said, okay, this approach is good enough to scale it. We want to scale this approach because we want to deliver what Enyaki asked us to do with this agile thing. We want to deliver things sooner. We want to work together to deliver these things sooner. We want to reuse what we know and cooperate and together get rid of impediments. So 4 artifacts we agreed on are, the first is value stream scope. We need to understand that, we need to socialize that. The second is current value stream map, how it is right now. You can see like this, a simple one. When you're looking into value stream consortium, it will be much more information. We do not need them yet. So we start with this. This is enough for the beginning of our conversation. So this is current value stream map, not finished. And then we want target value stream map. For example, in this example, in this particular place, we have 4 weeks now, and we won't have 2 weeks. And let's think what we can do to make this time shorter. These ideas, what we can do, are in the hypothesis backlog. In hypothesis backlog, you have the action that we agreed on connected with two hypotheses. It's important, two, not one. The first hypothesis is solution, what we will do to get rid of this problem. The second, or the first, the prior thing is the hypothesis of the problem. Because we think we know what the problem is, the first hypothesis, and based on this, we plan our solution, the second hypothesis. And we will run this, we deliver this solution, and we will check. Is problem disappeared? If the problem disappeared, that's great. The solution was good enough. And repeat and repeat and repeat. This is hypothesis backlog. Okay. Example of value stream Canva is here, auto-promotion. I will run a workshop later on after the lunch. You can join us and we will go through the value stream canvas. And that's it. It's only 2.5 an hour, so we will not cover the whole process. But the value stream Canva will be there. It will be fun. After lunch, you know, this is a tough place to be as a trainer. So we have those 4 artifacts. And I'm coming to you from the healthcare organization. So you need a recipe, right? You need a silver bullet for your organization. So take this. These are our findings. This is our insights. But be aware, maybe your symptoms are different. And be aware that every medication has a side effect. And I'm not responsible for this. Please ask your doctor or pharmacist before you take this. So this is the insight from the over 1 year of looking into the right approach into implementing agility into Bupa Global. I think we know what we want to scale. I'd be very glad in, I think, 2 years to be back at Motorola Agile Swarming and talk, do we succeed with the hard data? We are starting to gather hard data about assistate. We are formulating the process, how we want to go from one phase to the another. We have 3 or 4 phases, it is not decided yet. And we will tell you how it improved our situation. Did we deliver something that Iñaki asked us for? We did deliver. Will we deliver the things sooner, as asked? Valuable things. Of course, valuable things. Tomek, I can see you here. Yeah, valuable things, of course. Yeah. So that's me. I read the feedback from the yesterday that there is no enough space for questions, so we have a space for a question. Yes, please.
Extremely important to combine your presentation and Tomek's presentation because because I think that with this flow approach, it's very, very easy to forget about the value, right? We just take the things and do the things flawlessly and perfect. We have, you know, shorter time, we have flow from process perspective or from mind perspective, whatever, but we can lose focus why we do this, right? And to deliver the value. And then value stream is only by name. And that's, I think, it's important to combine your thoughts, Tomek's thoughts here.
Yeah. Can I answer? Can I answer? It is here. It was this moment when we realized that we did not socialize the scope of value stream. So we have the purpose. For example, for navigation app, we need to understand that we are delivering this high-level purpose to make traveling a smooth and pleasurable experience. But what are the results that we are focused on delivering that? So we want to stop issuing high defective code. We want to improve Net Promoter Score. So we will deliver value to our customer and they say, yeah, it is better. We want to improve our ratings in App Store because it's crappy at the moment, 2.5. We wanted to make at least 4 because we want to deliver a smooth experience to our customer. And we are aware of our challenges as well. So I think we realize what you covered in your comment. Thank you very much. And that was the moment when we said, okay, we need to make a step back And we need to make clear what is this value stream, what is its purpose, who is the sponsor, who is working on it, what is the starting point? Because that one, it wasn't clear. Is it the only one? Very rare. It is because our managers say, oh, let's do that. Or maybe we are listening to the customers and we are listening to the feedback. Yes, we do. Jarek, over the head of development, can show you now. We are listening to our customers. Okay. So it could be the second entry to the process in our value stream, something that our customer wants us to do and said, yeah, this is a great idea, let's do that. Maybe it will be something that is required by law, the law change, and we need to deliver that, another entry point. So it could be that we are not aware of every starting point, and we need to be, to make things going smoothly, to deliver the value and to choose wisely. And what is my endpoint in this process? Is it really released in production? Is it feasible in this team, in this area? If not, let's make it transparent. Let's say, okay, at the moment, we are not ready to deliver on the production, everything, but we want to. Where we can deliver? Is it the golden environment, or maybe this is UAT? And that's it. And of course, we are looking for the possibilities to go further, to deliver on the production and how to do that. So we will have it in our hypothesis backlog, in our improvement list. So thank you very much, because it appears that I didn't say it very clearly. And thanks to your question, I can add this clarification. Does it make any sense? Thank you. Michał.
I need a mic. So Ewa, I have a question about this hypothesis backlog.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. The logic is this: I identify the processes that I want to optimize.
Yeah.
I draw them as they are today.
Yeah.
I draw them as I want them to be.
Yes.
I identify actions transitioning from one to another.
Yeah. How to go from here to there.
Fine. And then I have a problem how these actions are connected to those hypotheses. I didn't really get it. So if you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Thank you. Great question. So we have this situation when the team is asking the business about something, and the business realize that, oh my God, we don't know, we need the expertise, or we need to ask provider, or we need to do so many things. And it's taking 4 weeks. And the to-be state, expected state, is 2 weeks. So from 4 weeks to 2 weeks. So we have assumption that if we agreed that when entering our process, because we are talking here about the downstream Kanban, right? Before going into this process, there are a lot of things happening, probably. So we need to change this gate. So when there is something new, maybe after the state or maybe before the state, we want to have a conversation with business about the feasibility of the solution. And our hypothesis is, if we have a discussion about the feasibility of the solution, maybe we will choose only the things that are feasible in reality in this time period we expected. And maybe we need additional information for the rest of those. Or maybe we will realize here, not here, that we can do that right now, that it needs to be splitted. Or maybe we need another competency that we do not have at the moment here in this team. And yes, we want to invest, but the training process or the recruitment, it's not one day, it's a long time. So let's pause it here and realize that we need to do this additional thing. So in this case, it could be that our assumption is to improve our entry gate into downstream Kanban from upstream Kanban. The hypothesis is that it's not strong enough. And the solution is to have a workshop with the business, to look at the real data, to look at the things that were stuck for 4 weeks, to find the pattern, and to get rid of the reason we have in this subset of work items. And if we will get rid of the reason, if we will have the stronger gate, and we still have 4 weeks, that means that we were wrong. It wasn't about this gate, it was something else. So then we will look for another probable core reason of this problem. Is it clear enough, or should I elaborate? Almost, yeah.
Thanks. So I understand that you express your actions as hypothesis or conditional kind of.
Actions are based on the hypothesis that this solution will solve this problem. So problem is a hypothesis. Our problem is that this gate is not strong enough. This is hypothesis.
Okay, and then there are actions to possibly fix it?
Yes.
And you also said in your presentation that there are also hypotheses about the problem itself. So are we really fixing the right problem?
Yes.
Or can you expand it a little bit?
So we can see this is this real data. 4 weeks. Why 4 weeks? Tell me the possible reason that it is 4 weeks. Tell me, just invent it. One reason. What it could be. Holidays. Second reason. No integration plan. Third reason. Somebody is very lazy. All right. Let's talk hypothesis that this is about lazy people. People are lazy. People are stupid. We will coach them. We will show them. Not working. Wrong hypothesis. Scratch it. Yeah. We delivered the solution that we thought was right if the hypothesis of the reason is right. People are lazy. Let's go into another one. Integration plan. Okay, this is the problem. There is no integration plan. Let's do this. So we are going into action. We are delivering integration plan, a workshop with our architects, with our engineers, with DevOps team, with head of development, with Agile coaches. Yeah, we have it. Let's socialize it with the team. Let's follow the rule. 3.5 weeks. Something moved. Is it good enough? Not yet. What was the third? Holidays. Oh my God, we did measure it in summer. Let's measure it right now. Much better. Here we are. So that's why I'm saying we need hypothesis of the problem connected with the solution.
So the root causes are hypotheses. You're asking yourself what the root cause of the problem might be. This is your hypothesis.
Yes.
Then you create actions against it, and you see if the actions work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It will help my presentation for the next time. Thank you. Any other question? Yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the starting point of this flow. You mentioned about downstream Kanban. Are you optimizing also the upstream Kanban? Are you visualizing that part, or?
How to say it? I have head of Agile coaches here, head of development here. We would love to optimize it. We are aware where is it and how to visualize it, and we will own it.
So not yet, but
the
future.
Now, to be serious, I do not think comfortable to talk about, but of course we do have OKRs, right? Better. We do have an approach for portfolio planning, do we? A little better. We realize that we do not have IT things in our portfolio planning, so let's put them. Let's make them visual. Yeah, better. So yeah, we are going there. It's not like we are not doing nothing, but this is huge. And it depends if we are talking about the initiative, which is here in Poland, for example, or there in Hong Kong, or then in UK, it is easier then. But if this is something that we need to run around the globe, ask Jarek, buy him a coffee or be better, ask him about the globe.
Okay, will do.
I can say nothing more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yep, I have another
Please.
here. First of all, thanks for the presentation. It was very interesting. I really like that this is about Kanban. My question is about like Kanban transition and the starting point for it, because there are two approaches that seems to be contradictory. From one hand side, we need to start small, don't involve too much, and then scale. From the other hand, so create kind of MVP, work on this, and then scale to other processes. From the other hand, it doesn't make too much sense to optimize locally. It makes sense to optimize end-to-end, which normally means involve half of the company. So what would be your recommendation how to start? So choose the most valuable value stream or the smallest, shortest value stream that is really end-to-end? What is your recommendation?
I think you know what the answer will be. Depends. Look at this picture. We ran the static approach, I think, over there because we had a new initiative, and it was wise to start with the structured approach, which is static. So I mean, system thinking approach to implementing Kanban. And we did those workshops, and we did succeed in few areas, not everywhere. In different places, we tried Kanban maturity model approach because they already were quite mature in visualization, in practices. They were doing some metrics. They were using WIP approach. They understood where is downstream, where is upstream. So they did their job. So we said, okay, let's assess where are they. Let's use Kanban maturity model, and then let's try to move them with the simple steps into maturing our organization according to the Kanban maturity model. And of course, this is the third approach, which is the common sense approach. We are looking at the problem, like you saw with these value stream pictures, and we realize that it's not acceptable anymore. So we need to attend to this first somehow. And then maybe we will go into Kanban maturity model here, or maybe we will just start from the scratch with static.
Okay.
So the problem is, I can't say that around the world we will use one approach. I don't think we will do that. This is why we Agile coaches need to know our stuff. We need to know Scrum, we need to know Kanban, we need to know techniques, we need to know tools, and choose wisely what's the best for our people.
And start with the process that is, for example, the most problematic one.
With identifying how the value flows.
Okay.
And what is the problem? What's stopping it?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.